What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, with this video, we are jumping into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, issue number 3. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with this line, go ahead, check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on in this line. And so far, what we have seen is Michelangelo being the last Ronin, with Raphael now being dead, with April being an amputee, with Casey Jones no longer with us. We are seeing the true impact of how the years have affected them. We're seeing the trauma, the PTSD, the struggle that they are truly going through. But this issue, it's going to divulge what happened to Donatello, what happened to Leo, and why is Casey Jones no longer with us. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into part 3, we are picking up in the past, with Oroku now being essentially sworn in as the Foot Clan leader. The grandson of Shredder is finally old enough to be able to take the throne, with his mother currently in a coma after everything that happened with Raph. With his first command, his first order of business is to get in contact with the Turtles because he wants to set up a parlay. He wants to end all of this bloodshed. The time has come to speak of peace. But picking up in present day, we know that simply wasn't the case. That parlay, it was a lie. The peace that he sought, it was a lie. And we see him broadcasting to the entire populace of New York, letting them know that for 2 decades, he has kept them safe. He has kept them protected from anything that do them harm. But he lets them know that there is a monster among them, a creature, an assassin, cowardly attacking them in a terroristic attack, one that failed them, but saying that this treason, it's unacceptable, it's unfathomable, and it's unforgivable. And any crime done against him is punishable by death. And so he warns, no stone will be unturned. They will capture him at all costs, and he will personally execute the final justice. And so tonight, until further notice, this entire city is now in a state of martial law. And this is when the city erupts into chaos, with people fleeing in every direction, with these robotic security guards rounding everybody up and forcing them to get into their homes. With some kind of protest trying to happen, these people have no chance. They are outgunned, they are outnumbered, and they are overpowered. And so while all hell is breaking loose, Casey Marie Jones's crew let her know, or say that they need to let her know everything that is going on. They need to get to her as soon as possible. And that's what picks us up with Mikey, currently sitting in his bed talking to his brothers. Now remember, up to this point, we're not sure if this is something that was done through meditation, but I believe this is something that's more due with trauma. He's talking to the ghosts of the past. He's talking to his brothers that are no longer with him. His way of coping and dealing with everything that has happened, with losing the 3 individuals that were the most important in his life. And they're arguing right now because of Casey Marie. Casey Marie, while she may be fighting this resistance and working with the underground for quite some time, he doesn't want to involve her in any of this stuff that's going on. He wants to keep her completely separate because of how dangerous it is, because of how many people that they have lost throughout all of this. But at the end of the day, even if she's a kid, even if she's 16 years old, they were no older than she was. They've been training for this their entire lives. But this is a battle that is passed down from generation to generation, and it is time for it to finally end. And if that means Casey Marie is helping him by his side, he is not going to be one to try to stop her. Now, Casey comes into the room, letting him know that she has every intention of going up to the surface. Him telling her this probably not a good idea, but she's not one to ask for permission. Letting him know before she takes off that April is looking for him. And so with them making their way in their opposite directions, her going to the surface, he makes his way to April's office, to her little laboratory. And inside, he walks in and he is completely shook, because this is where he sees Professor Honeycutt aka Fugitoid, or at least what is remaining of him after the last encounter, after the last battle took place. And April lets him know that things are about to get crazy around here. Things are about to go real sideways real fast. And with Mikey being completely out of it, completely confused on what's going on, he thinks it's time that they do a little bit of a catch-up to remember what happened. And that's what takes us to the past. And right now, they are preparing Donnie and Splinter to go over to Japan to do this parlay and see if there is any possibility of making peace. Now, of course, everybody is skeptical because a truce between these two clans, it never lasts. And the last time that there was a truce, they definitely broke it. That's where we had Splinter laid up on the table bleeding out after they were ambushed. That's how Raphael ended up dying. But Splinter, he believes even if this could be a trap, he has to try. With a new generation, a new leader taking over, maybe, just maybe, Oroku doesn't want any more bloodshed. Maybe he is tired of decades of fighting over and over again. And so they have to try. They have to be able to try to make it there and see what happens. But while Splinter and Donnie, they make their exits as they fly out of here, this is where we see Baxter Stockman. And an assault is about to go down, with him at the helm, with him appearing to be commanding some individuals, letting them know that now is the time to make their attack. And all of the outer defenses, they get hit simultaneously. And with a bunch of guys getting taken out, they're able to hit the alarm. With the alarm going off, this notifies everybody. The element of surprise has been taken from Stockman, and now he is having to send everybody in. And so everything is going into lockdown. Currently, we have Mikey, we have April, Casey, and we have Honeycutt. They all made their way to the hangar as soon as the alarms went off, but they're ready to head their way with the tech crew. But so much chaos is going on, Leo tells everyone that they need to converge on the main compound to be able to make their way back there and hold their defenses as long as possible. Because on top of Stockman, we have Foot Clan making their way from every breach, every entrance that they could possibly get into. They are getting overrun in a matter of moments. And as everything makes their attack, as everything is going into motion, we see Mikey and Casey holding the line of defense. Holding the line as some giant robot Terminator-looking mofos start breaking down the doors. And this is when the fight starts to begin. Now, Honeycutt at this point has realized that Stockman has figured out his location. This Stockman has finally come for him. And we see Casey doing his best to try to take these things out. Breaking a hockey stick on one of them, breaking a cricket stick on another, winds up finding himself a sledgehammer and starts really taking these things down. Now, while all this is happening, it appears that one of Stockman's robots is able to grab a hold of Fugitoid. Grabbing a hold of him, Mikey is able to stop this guy, taking down this robot, saving Honeycutt in just this moment. Stockman is getting absolutely infuriated. And so with that, he sends out everything. Every mouser he has, every single robot that he has on standby, he sends everything. And as Leo and Casey look up, they can't see anything but mousers, but Foot Clan, but all of these robots, realizing that this is something they're probably not going to get out of. But they're going to stand their ground. They are going to fight till the very end. Leo and Casey telling April, telling Mikey, and telling Fugitoid that they need to get out of there. They need to get to the safe room, and they need to do it immediately. That they will hold off these forces for as long as they possibly can. And as April is trying to get Professor Honeycutt back into the room, he breaks out. He breaks out and he screams to Stockman, telling him that he knows it is him who he is after, and that he will never, ever allow him to take him captive. That he will self-destruct himself before that ever happens. Now Stockman, believing that to be the case, says if he can't have him, then simply nobody can. And with one push of a button, every single mouser in this place detonates. We see an explosion erupt, with the windows being blown out, concrete flying in every single direction, the flames still burning. The only thing we find left behind is Casey's mask and Leo's sword. And this is that day. This is the day that we lost Leo. This is the day that we lost Casey. This is the day that Michelangelo was separated from everybody, believing them all to be dead. This is the day that Mikey became the Last Ronin. Now, picking up on the surface, Casey Marie Jones has made her way up there, and she sees that the city is in absolute chaos right now. Regular, everyday civilians trying to make their escape, trying to hide anywhere they can, because the Foot Clan is coming down with an iron fist. When they said they were leaving no stone unturned, this is something that they truly meant. And we are seeing what it truly means to not have freedom, to have all of your rights taken away, to go into an absolute police state. Now, with her recognizing how bad the situation is, she needs to get to her mother. But before she can do that, she runs into some robots. She has to use her skills, and she is definitely skilled when it comes to martial arts. Taking down one of the security guards, she is in a frantic panic to get back home, to tell April everything that is transpiring. And that's where we pick back up with April and Mikey. And April is telling us her side of what she remembers. And what she's telling us is that after that explosion, they looked for any kind of survivors, but nobody was found. She, being one of the few individuals to make it out, she spent a lot of time in the hospital. Waking up a week later in the hospital, finding out that she lost her husband, she lost all of her friends, she lost her home, she lost her arm, she lost her leg, and not only that, she was freaking pregnant. And so she goes through rehab. She gets a fancy new arm, she gets a fancy new leg. And with a brand new baby, she makes her way into the world. Seeing how the Foot Clan had begun its takeover, how it had begun its police state, she decided it was time to go underground. With the store being destroyed, they go down to the lair to hide out here and to raise her daughter, in the hopes that somebody might show up, that one of the brothers still is alive, that Casey might be out there. And so we're really connecting the dots, because when Mikey got knocked out during that explosion, it sent him halfway across the neighborhood. And when he came to, he was in such a fog, he doesn't remember where he was. He wasn't sure what to do. By looking at the rubble, he couldn't believe that anybody survived it. He made his way back to home base. He made his way back to the lair, and he tried to contact Splinter and Donnie. He tried to let them know that they had been betrayed, that this parlay was all a ruse. It was all another trap. But he was unable to. He was unable to contact them, and so he made his way to Japan by hopping onto an airplane, going as a stowaway, hiding away from everybody. He made his way to Japan. He was hoping that he would be able to reach them in time, before he lost his master and his brother. And he has so much survivor's guilt. Being the last of his brothers, he blames himself. Why him? Why is he alive when nobody else is? Why did he make it through that? And April knows exactly, how and why he's thinking these things. Going through therapy, going through counselors, this is a prime example of survivor's guilt. But she reminds him that it's not his fault, that it is nobody's fault except for the Foot Clan. But she thinks she's devised a way to be able to take down everything they need to do. She thinks she's found a way to beat Hiroto. And that's when Casey arrives, letting us know that she needs to figure it out, and she needs to figure it out fast, because on the surface, everything is going to hell very quickly. Now, picking up with Oroku, he is perched atop a building, and he is talking to himself, talking about how he's so great, how he's so amazing. This guy is straight up a freaking psychopath. He is a lunatic. He is delusional in the worst kind of ways, believing that he is untouchable, believing himself almost to be a god. We're seeing a godlike complex coming from this guy, believing that he is the epitome of everything this city should be. And as he's sitting here ranting on top of this roof, he kind of slips off. He slips and he goes to fall, and he doesn't even freak out. He believes that no matter what, he will live, that he is immortal, that he is godly. Though the reality is, it's just robots saving his life, believing that no way they will ever let me die. Like, this guy is a complete and utter freaking basket case. This guy is Shredder times a freaking 1,000. And that's what we've seen with each generation. They have gotten worse and worse. They have become worse and worse individuals, to the point where you have literally a psychopathic, narcissistic sociopath with borderline personality disorder. And so this is what they're going against. This is what they have to face. Now, picking back up with Mikey, with April and Casey and her crew. Casey is ready to get out there and bring the fight to them. April as well. They're all ready to do this. Now, the thing about that is, they want to use Fugitoid. But the thing is, when they reactivate him, this is going to let Stockman know exactly where they are. Kind of like a beacon to come kill us. And so their first goal is to take down Stockman. They have to take down Stockman before they do anything else. And then they can go after the Foot Clan. And the plan is to more or less turn him on, turn Fugitoid on, once they're in the midst of attacking Stockman. That way it throws him off his guard. He will put everything into trying to capture that robot, that he will be completely oblivious to Mikey and everybody else making their counterattack on him. Now, of course, Mikey, he doesn't agree with this. He thinks it's a bad idea. He thinks it's a suicide mission. At this point, he's not 100% sure on what to do, but he believes attacking right now, this instant, a lot of people are going to get hurt or killed in it, including Casey Marie, believing that they are just not prepared, that they don't have the equipment, they don't have the ability to go make a full frontal attack like this. Though he doesn't have much room to say, considering that's exactly what he did when he first arrived in the city. But now, looking back and recognizing that that was a foolish, childish endeavor, more of a suicidal death wish than anything else. But April takes him to the side and shows him something that she has been working on. And this is where we see a freaking turtle tank. Something that is going to help change and alter the course of this battle in the days to come. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I've said it once, I've said it twice, I'll say it 1,000 more times. This is a masterpiece. This is absolutely beautifully written. The artwork is absolutely amazing. Not only that, they are diving on some very serious mental health issues. From survivor's guilt to PTSD to narcissistic god complexes. We are seeing truly how mental health affects us, how it affects those around us, how it can change us in such drastic ways. This is easily the best story of 2021. And I will argue and even say that this is the best story to ever come out of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, obviously, I haven't read every single story written by TMNT and Kevin Eastman and so on and so forth. But I have to say, I can't see something being written much better than this. Now, that's just my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think this is a masterpiece? Do you think this will go down as one of Kevin Eastman's best writings ever done? Or do you think it's just kind of pointless, kind of trying to drive on that mental health aspect, on that dark and gritty like DC likes to do? Do you think it's just trying to play on that and play on the fact that people like darker stories? Let me know down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.